Coming from a middle class family and having worked at jobs for three generations of my family, I was surprised when somebody told me that yes, you can do business, you can get prosperous, and you can actually break that whole services cycle and truly become an entrepreneur so that you can change the trajectory not only of your own life, my life, but also my future generations. And I became truly fascinated. Now, this person gave me a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, etc., etc. And that's when I first realized about the law of attraction. I was truly fascinated, and that made me make a decision that I'm going to be giving up my medical career and actually becoming an entrepreneur. However, in my first few years of entrepreneurship, I spent years and years trying to master the law of attraction, and for some reason, it was not working for me. Everything I was doing was failing, and I failed for 3.5 years straight. It was only after many, many years of going through the process and truly realizing what the law of attraction really means at every level and how to engage with the law of attraction rather than just reading and talking and blogging about it, how to truly make it work for you. Today I am making these YouTube videos for you to shorten your journey so you don't have to spend as much time as I spent. My name is Dr. Rajat Sinha, and welcome to this video where I share with you my journey of uh, going through a medical college, becoming a medical doctor, and then finally becoming an entrepreneur. So welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the law of attraction and truly what is the tactical nature of how you can make it work for you. All right, I'm going to be going step by step, even if you're a beginner, and I'm going to really make it super simple and unveil the curtain on why is it that a lot of people talk about the law of attraction. There's a lot of content around it. There's millions of YouTube videos and billions of watch minutes that you have available online. But still, when you try to make the law of attraction work for you, why doesn't it work for you? Or maybe it works for you at a short term. You may get some epiphanies, you may get some things working in your life, some serendipities may work out for you, but at a consistent level, why are you unable to make it work for you, especially on the prosperity front, especially on the wealth and income front? All right, let's get started. Now, what is the law of attraction? The central premise of the law of attraction, the central premise of the law of attraction is that you are a piece of the universe. Okay, and that basically means that whatever vibration level or whatever frequency level you're going to maintain, or whatever the vibes you're going to give out, is going to pull those infinite energies of the universe to you. Okay, and basically the universe has been around for billions and billions of years, and when you trace it right up from the big bang, which created all the stars and all the galaxies and everything, billions and billions of years, and through these billions and billions of years, over a period of time, what has happened is a certain planet in a certain galaxy called the Earth has been able to create or develop intelligent life forms, which basically means all life forms, plants and animals. There have been 5 different extinction events on this planet when every life was snuffed out, and yet these intelligence life forms have just come back smarter, faster, and better. Okay, the human being is the most ultimate evolution of what the universe has created, and the fact that even after 5 extinctions, the life forms have been going on, becoming more and more advanced, culminating in you, basically means that there is some universal intelligence that is working in order to create you. So you are a piece of the universe. Every single element, every single cell, atom, chemical composition in the human body has been broken down, and we find that every single chemical composition has come from the planets or from the universe itself. So everything that makes up our body, chemically speaking, is basically coming from the universe, and these elements are somehow forming together and forming life forms. Definitely, in our case, we are mammals, so humans are giving birth to humans. But where is the chemical composition at the end of it coming from? Is coming from the universe itself. All right. So basically, the central premise of the law of attraction is that you are a piece of the universe, and how you interact with the rest of the universe is a game of it's a game of neurochemicals, it's a game of vibrations, game of electromagneticity and neurochemicals, all of which are controlled through your thought process. Okay, so how you think and how you be is sending out signals to the universe and infinite energies of this universe. I mean, if you think about the gigatons of energy that is required to keep planets spinning around the sun, and the huge amounts of energy that has literally created the universe and keeps it in motion, is like billions and billions of times more powerful than what you can yourself do in life. Definitely hard work is required, but the central premise is that if you maintain a certain kind of neurochemical composition in your brain, certain kind of electromagnetic vibration in your brain, then that's going to engage the much larger forces of the universe and bring them to your disposal so that you can achieve what the goals you're there to achieve. And one of the biggest things is that the goals you're here to achieve are actually universal goals. The universe wants to work through you. And that is why you have this thought that, hey man, I want to become healthy, I want to become prosperous, I want to work with people, I want to serve, I want to increase love and relationships in my life, or whatever it is. Okay, so every thought that is coming in your brain is basically a neurochemical signal, and the signal is also being given by the universe. So if you have a calling, if you feel a desire to do something in your life which is outside of yourself, bigger than yourself, then guaranteed this thought or this vision or this desire has been sent to you by the universe, because the universe wants to achieve through you what the universe wants to achieve for the universe. Okay, so that is the central premise of the law of attraction. Now, what is the law of attraction? States that we got to match our frequency level with the universe. Okay, we got to match our frequency level with the universe, and that basically means that we need to be, first of all, needs to be harmonious, which means you can't have something at the expense of other people, because that is anti-universal, right? So you can say, I want to get rich, but I want to get rich by becoming better than these people so that I can live at the expense of other people, or I can probably be a king who's living off other people, and they can, they won't grow in life, but I will grow in life and I'll be better than them. That kind of unharmonious situation is not going to work. So hoping that your intention is right, you want to do well for yourself and you want to do others also to do well for themselves, then that is a harmonious situation. That's the baseline. Okay, now whatever it is that you want for yourself, it can be a selfish goal, there is no problem, as long as it doesn't harm others. And what you got to do over here is that you got to put your brain, they talk about brain frequencies, and the brain frequencies need to be pulling that desire towards you. Thus universal energies are going to be activated, and that is the law of attraction. So let us go a little deeper over here. You're a piece of the universe, you have some desires which are electrochemical signals given by the universe. Now what do you do to hone those desires or to pull the larger energies of the universe towards you? Okay, so over here we have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So they say that you have two kinds of minds. One is a conscious mind, which you can control and you can feed it information, and then the subconscious mind, which actually works at a very subliminal level, and it's way more powerful than your conscious mind. So now you got your conscious mind, which is 1% powerful, probably your subconscious mind that is 100 times powerful than your conscious mind, and then you got the actual energies of the universe, which are millions of times, billions of times more powerful than you yourself. Now the subconscious mind is the gateway to open up the universal energies. Okay, so your subconscious mind is the gateway to open the universal energies, but your subconscious mind is not directly accessible. That means you can't really just tune in and say, okay, let me just tune into my subconscious mind and open that gateway. It is an indirect process. Okay, what you can do is that you've got your conscious mind over here, which is playing all kinds of programs, running thoughts. In fact, I meet so many people and they themselves cannot actually sit with themselves for even 15 minutes a day. And the reason is because the conscious mind is running like this monkey mind and creating lots of thought patterns based on whatever inputs it's getting from the world. Okay. Now, input data is something that you're getting from sensory, what you see, what you hear, what you think about, etc. All of that is there. But you got to organize all of this stuff so that it feeds the subconscious mind in a law of attraction manner. How do you do that? The conscious mind is composed of two major components. Okay, you got the logical brain and you got the emotional brain. Okay, so there are two major components over here, the logical brain and the emotional brain. What are these two types of brains? I'll be just coming to that in just 1 second. But the logical part of your brain is something that only the human being has, which basically they can put things together, they can run patterns, they can learn arithmetic, they can do a bunch of things. Some other species like orangutans, gorillas, and even crows have shown some sort of intelligence in this area, but obviously they are nowhere at the level that human beings are. And this thing, which is the logical brain, is the thing which is working throughout the day. Okay, much of the time what is happening is the emotional brain, which has to do with our love and feelings and things like that, that is also operating, but that is not getting really an outlet in today's times. Okay, so these are the two parts of the conscious mind that have to be engaged with the law of attraction. The third part of the conscious mind, which is also called the spinal cord, it doesn't have thoughts of its own, but it has reactions. So you've got the spinal cord going through your body, and it has different reactions. Most of these reactions are fight or flight, which are survival level reactions. So if you hear a loud noise, you're likely to jump up. That's a spinal cord reaction. If you feel your elbow just suddenly feel something hot, you're likely to kind of pull away. Why is that? Because you feel, oh, maybe there's a hot iron somewhere or something like that, right? So these are mainly fight or flight reactions which are inbuilt into the spinal cord. We don't really have a control over it unless we train it. Okay, so now training of the spinal cord is a very important thing, and as we train the spinal cord reactions, we are able to access our subconscious mind. Now the subconscious mind is not the same as the spinal cord, but this is a very important point. The subconscious mind is the gateway to the universe. The spinal cord is the gateway to the subconscious mind. Very important. Now, this is where a big disconnect happens with the law of attraction. A lot of people think that if I think positively all day long, then somehow I'm going to access the subconscious mind, or then it's going to work, which is great. It is the first step. It is a big step. If you can think positively all day long, that is huge. In my mind, you're a champion. But there are a few steps ahead of that sometimes people miss out, that I was missing out because of it. Law of attraction is not working out for me for many years. Okay. Let me just quickly go over here and share with you a photo of the brain, which is called the triune brain theory. You can just do some research on it on the internet, which is the triune brain theory, and it shows the three types of brains. We've got the executive brain, which is our logical brain, and it constantly talks in logical terms. You got the emotional brain, which is this blue part in the middle over here, which is constantly has to do with your feelings, the main feeling being the need for love. And this brain is available in mammals. It's not available in reptiles. So reptiles don't have those kind of feelings, but mammals have that feelings. Okay, they have that love between generations, parents and kids. They have love between spouses. So you have people like doves and jackals and things like that who basically mate for life. And a lot of this emotional situation is highly developed in mammals and above. Okay, so you have dogs, cats, monkeys, and things like that. Okay, and then humans. Okay, so this emotional brain is constantly seeking love. If you have a pet dog, you will see that the pet dog constantly seeks validation. If you do not give it attention even for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or if you leave the house, the dog gets a little wild, it gets a little crazy, because it craves that love and it doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen after you leave the house, and it really craves that love. And that's like a magnified version of what our brain also look like. Deep inside, actually, we are craving love. Okay, so this is our emotional brain. Logical brain is where we operate for most of the time. And then you got the spinal cord, which has to do with your safety and security, fight and flight. It is constantly on the lookout for danger. It's constantly on the lookout for danger. Okay. Now, what does all of this have to do with law of attraction? If you have to implement the law of attraction, it starts from the logical brain, which is, yes, I want to become a millionaire, billionaire, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, what is happening is you've got to watch out for your emotional brain and your spinal cord, because they're going to become a barrier. They're going to become a barrier. The problem is that today, if you want to attract wealth, you have to take risk. There is no safe wealth anywhere. If you put your money in the bank or something and you expect it to save your way to richness, that's not going to happen, because the banks are paying like 2 or 3% interest, real life scenario. So you're not going to be able to beat inflation. You're going to get poorer over time. So if you want to get rich, or if you want to get wealthy specifically in that area, even actually if you're in the health space where you want to lose weight, you want to become smarter, more attractive, or whatever it is, whatever goal you're trying to achieve your best self, it involves risk. When you go to the gym, there is a risk that you will look weird on your first day. Okay, there is a risk that you may think that some people are going to look at you and judge you. Similarly, when you go to get rich or something, you're going to take a step outside of your social ecosystem and do something that probably your friends and family cannot understand. And that creates a risk of not being accepted. When we face these risks, immediately there is a risk to feeling less loved, which means if you do something that your parents don't approve of or they can't imagine, or if you do something that is outside of your immediate friend circle that they have never thought about or they don't support because they want to live in their comfort zone, then the immediate risk you run is that you're going to be less loved in the moment. in that moment there is a risk that I will be less loved. People won't understand me, and people won't back me, and I won't get that same kind of support that I do. In the case of your friend circle, if you just have organize a big party, everybody is excited. But if you say, hey man, I have a business meeting, guess what? People are not that excited. Some people will be like weirded out. Why the hell do you have a business meeting? What do you have to do with business? Okay. So you have that moment where you are less loved, and transcending that moment is very essential for the law of attraction. Now, if logically you are dreaming of being a millionaire, billionaire, but you have somehow not come to terms with the fact that you're okay with being less loved in the moment by some people who don't understand you, and you're still willing to maintain, big point, if you're still willing to maintain your love towards them, then you will probably transcend this emotional barrier. Okay, law of attraction will be activated at a stronger level than merely the logical brain. Very important. Okay, now this is where 99% of the problem happens. Your emotional brain, 99% of the failures over here, they happen because you go out, get rejection from prospects. You come back home, maybe your spouse, your friends, or your parents don't support what you're doing, so they keep asking questions, when are you going to get successful? And during this period where you're not getting so-called love in the moment, you're either likely to break down, or you're likely to overreact. You're likely to say, okay, you're going to say something stupid to your spouse or to your family or something, and that's going to destroy everything. Now you got a situation where either you've given up on your business, or what has happened is that you spoiled the other balancing of the ecosystem in your house, which is you have your home situation is now screwed up because you acted weirdly over there. Okay, this is where the stability has to be maintained, that these people right now don't understand me, they don't love me in the moment, but I am loving them equally back. I may limit the access to them. I may spend less time with them, spend more time with my mentors. I may spend less time with them, spend more time in my business meetings or wherever I'm getting to know the learning. I may spend less time at home and spend more time with my prospects. 100%. That's good. But in my heart, I have to maintain that stability. Otherwise, the emotional center of my brain is going to get destabilized. And that is going to be not a good situation. Okay. So if you lose stability in any of these areas, then the law of attraction is going to go for a toss. All right. Very important to maintain stability. So what is the mindset that I have at different points in my life? Even the friends who actually were 100% of supportive of me in my initial years, towards the later years, they became non-supportive at some level, because they said, dude, I can't understand why you keep doing these things, why you keep, your journey never ends, you never have enough time to spend with us. We've supported you mentally, psychologically, emotionally throughout these years. You finally become successful. Why is it that you're constantly now going after that hustle again and again? Okay, and it's time that we can just sit down and relax and just be. And if I'm in that zone of hustling, in my heart, I love them equally. Okay, I'm gonna be like, okay, hang on to this. I gotta spend more time with my prospect, with my business, but the love from my heart will never decrease. Okay, and over a period of time, there'll be a period of time when they will understand, and it's gonna be okay, man. At the end of the day, time is gonna collapse and singularity is going to happen. But in this moment, if my internal balance, which is okay, these guys don't support this anymore, maybe I hate them or whatever, if there is some reaction that happens from inside you, then what is happening is that your emotional brain is getting destabilized, and then the flow of the law of attraction is going to stop. Okay, so the flow of the law of attraction, let's say it's from top to bottom, is going to stop. And as you go deeper and deeper, the force of the law of attraction actually gets stronger if you pass through these stages. Okay, the third stage is the spinal cord. It is not the same as your subconscious mind, but it is very, very closely connected to your subconscious mind. Okay, let me just open up some more comments over here. Your logical brain is the thinking brain, your emotional brain is the feeling brain, and your spinal cord is what we call the nervous state. We call it the nervous state. Okay, that means that if you're going in front of prospects or something like that, and you're constantly feeling dejected, or you feel like a loser, or it triggers that fight or flight response, you're not able to ask for the money, you are procrastinating, okay, and anything like that. Okay, so whenever the talk of becoming a salesperson comes in, I mean, it's very simple. You want to get rich, you have to be in business, no two ways about it. And if you want to be in business, you have to be in sale. I mean, the only real businessman is a salesperson. Okay, everybody else is not a real businessman, to be honest. You have so many of these startups and all that have been founded in India today that are all going fut, and they are destroying their investors' money. Why is that? Because the founders are not salespeople. Very simple. Okay, so let's say you want to be in sales. You want to be good at sales, but when you go out and ask for the money, or when you get rejected, or when you do some things that don't work, your internal nervous state is now getting destroyed, which basically means what is your nervous state inside when you get a rejection in the morning, when there is no money in the bank account, when you're constantly fighting against that, hey man, I don't have enough money, I need to make money, I need to fulfill the dreams to the family, but it's not happening. Then what's going to happen is that your internal spinal state is going to go into fight or flight. Okay, then every day in the morning you waking up stressed. Throughout the day you're mostly out of energy. At the end of the day, regardless how much you sleep, it's the tiredness never goes away. If you have faced any of these situations, plus procrastination is just a way of getting the relaxation that is not there inside. Okay, so you just procrastinate and say, I just need the relaxation, I can't think about it. Okay, imposter syndrome is a big one. It's fear of success. Imposter syndrome is nothing but fear of success, which is your nervous state has not gotten adjusted to the new you. All right, and if this is a problem, then at this level the law of attraction is going to be blocked. It's going to be blocked. So what do you need to do at this level is very, very important. You need to desensitize. Okay, this is the most important level, because this is the final barrier, final bastion. This is where all the 99% people who couldn't clear the emotional level of difficulty, once they come to this level, the rest of the 1%, 90% of those 1% are going to fail over here, because this is the place where you need to get desensitized. The answer for that is desensitize yourself. How do you desensitize? You sit in that emotion. You sit in that emotion and you feel the emotion fully. Okay, you spend probably 15, 20, 30 minutes in the morning just letting that emotion flow through you. And then you make a decision, what is the emotional state that I ideally should be in? Okay, what would be my emotional state if instead of being broke, I had $1 million in the account? Let's say this morning a big sale came in and I had like 1 crore rupees in my account. What would be your emotional state? Then you map down that state and you make a conscious decision to follow that state throughout the day. You check in with yourself every half an hour. How am I feeling right now? Am I nervous? Am I having fight or flight? Am I feeling dejected, disappointed? What is happening to me right now? And you got to renew that commitment to yourself every 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Every 30 to 60 minutes. Till the time you can sit in that state, the physical world has not changed yet. You're still in your, it's not a happy situation for you right now. You feel like a loser, you feel like an imposter, whatever it is. Okay? If you can constantly check in with yourself, and the number of times in a day that you can check in with yourself and make sure that you are in the right state, and you can maintain it consistently over a few days, few weeks, few months, you will see that the law of attraction will start kicking in big time. Okay, I meet a lot of people who say the law of attraction kicked in, and I was down and out, and suddenly one big payment came in, one client came in, something changed, some bank owed me some money or something suddenly came in. Whatever it is, one-off situations, amazing. Consistently, has it changed your financial thermostat? If no, then you're probably failing at this level. Okay, then you're failing at this level. Okay, so very importantly, how does the law of attraction works? You are the connection to the universe. Every single desire you have is a goal that the universe has to achieve through you. That means you're an instrument of the universe. Now what you got to do is, in addition to all the logical thinking and YouTubing and things like that you're doing, you got to connect it to the emotions, which means every time you feel less loved, usually when a prospect says no to you and your family doesn't support you, etc., or when you internally feel, if I'm not able to achieve this goal, I will be a loser. And a lot of people think that, and then I ask them, who will you be a loser in the eyes of? In whose eyes would you be a loser? And they don't know that. The chances are that some incident happened in their childhood where they felt less than because they couldn't perform, and now that incident is hidden deep inside them. Unless you uncover that, you will have an emotional block with sales, with entrepreneurship, and with failure. Okay, now this is a one-time event. You can figure this out, you can get organized around this, and you can really fix this in one shot. The main challenge is in the spinal cord state, because the spinal cord state has to be trained. The difference between, they say, a normal billionaire and you is basically the way they think. It's not the way they logically think. So you can't logically think yourself to be a billionaire. It's the way they operate under stress. Okay, and that has to do with your spinal cord. That literally has to be trained. That means you have to push yourself to be in situations where you take on these challenges and you just get okay with them. In my case, when I was still in my medical college days, I had to push myself to go out and meet strangers every single day, regardless of whether my business is going plus or minus. I'm growing my business, yes or no, it doesn't matter. Every single day, it's the same routine. I go out, I meet strangers, I find two more numbers, gets my hopes up. I call them, meet them for business, call them for a weekend meeting. None of them show up. What do I do the next day? It's the same thing I would do if I was already successful. I would go out and meet more strangers. Very simple. That was the training that I received from my mentor in my first few years in medical college. Okay. And then later, my business was not working. So my mentor said, okay, you need to pay your bills, find a sales job. Why sales job? Oh, because it's going to keep you in the state where you have to constantly hit cold prospects and get that rejection. That is how your nervous system is going to get trained. If you find a cushy job, some management job or a job in a hospital, then what's going to happen is that you're out of the game. You're not constantly meeting new strangers and trying to sell something. I could have gone back to my hospital job anytime, but I didn't want to go back to a hospital job. My mentor said specifically get a job, but get a sales job, because it's going to keep you pushing against those limits and your nervous system is going to get desensitized to asking strangers for money. Simple. Asking strangers for money. That's it. Okay. During that time, I had very less money. I was living on rent. Sometimes I didn't even know if I can pay my rent or not. But over a period of 2-3 months, I became desensitized. I knew that I'm going to go through this, man. I'm going to go. I don't know how. I just know this is the new me. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is happening. This is going to happen. I did develop 100%, in fact, 200% certainty. And that allowed me to take even bigger risks. I was able to give up my salary job and take on a full commission job. Full commission job, dude. Give up the salary by itself. Full commission. Okay. I was able to take bigger and bigger risks, and my nervous system settled down. And that's when the big, it took a few years, I'll be honest with you. It took a few years, but then the big riches started coming. And as the big riches started coming, my risk taking capability grew even bigger. Okay, because now I'm no longer the person who's doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the game. And that is something some of my friends, my closest friends who I'm truly grateful to for supporting me throughout my journey. Yeah, even they are kicking my butt these days. But in my heart, man, I love them even more. But this is who I am and this is who I have become. Very simple. Okay, this is the law of attraction. Please let me know in the comments what is it that you like best, what other videos you would like to receive, and I'll make them for you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.